A Wander of Jiva. Not really heard that as a canonical like combo before. Jiva is another god that we would like to take a look at. Killer Clown. Gotta firestorm him. I want to get turned into a bat or a hog. Yeah, I did that. I did a slime troll that stayed atheist and didn't get Jiva altar on layer 6, so he actually dived and it managed to do okay and get to the altar and not die with some blink scrolls. That was pretty fun. Yeah, you can do the good god thing since Jiva's not evil. Although it certainly seems like it might be. Cursed out. I can dispel you at this point, can't I? Oh yeah. Get wrecked. Oh, speaking of things I can dispel. Speaking again of things I can dispel. Aha! This is Neil's vault. Right, well, maybe not. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, I guess that buckler protection gets him enchant. Well, I guess we'll explore the outside of this, and then if we don't really make it, we'll go back up to Zot 4 here and do some XP farming. Find out what's in that crazy vault. Garden of Zot. If Jeepicus were here, he would notice that there's a lot of plants. Wait, is this the wrong level? I mean, we can kill this stuff, I guess. It doesn't really matter. That was just an appetizer. Now for the main course, which is Novelty Vault. Combo and God. I mean, as with anything, go for strength. I mean, to be honest, there's sort of two things. Going with TSO, if you're going to do mostly melee stuff, is pretty straightforward because TSO gives a lot of healing and you're probably going to want to tab a lot. If you do that, Cleansing Flame, high invocations, super good. Don't forget to use your angels to mob crazy stuff too. Like, you know, anything from like the Serpent of Hell to whatever Pan Lord, just use them. TSO will grant them additional duration, so use your piety. And Cleansing Flame at high invo just does tons of damage, does not cost that much piety, so you can kind of spam it. So that's the melee route, and as far as spells go, you can kind of do whatever. Of course, stuff like, well, regen is necro, so you can't use that, but you know, if you wanted to go for deflect missiles, you can do stuff like that. Obviously, you can go full on farming and get like shatter and you can do crazy stuff eventually, but. And if you're doing spells, Firestorm's the easiest, certainly. Not that you can't use some mix of the other spells, but Firestorm's just super simple. And if you're not familiar with doing that, you want to probably try it for 3 rune first. If you are using a Firestormer, you may have gravitated towards something like a Deep Elf, which is less than ideal for Extended, because by the time you've got to Extended, other species can kind of catch up and get access to stuff that the Deep Elf had earlier, but now they're not stuck with minus 20% HP. So things with extra HP are pretty good. Draconian is obviously pretty good. Just gives you more leeway. And yep, obviously a Deep Dwarf of Mocklub is really, really strong. If you're new, I wouldn't recommend that as new, only because a lot of new players kind of get intimidated by a Deep Dwarf, I guess. Not that you need to be. Yep, Gargoyles is nice. The Torment, I mean, you have less HP, which sucks. They do get the Torment reduction, which is convenient because Torment is a thing. If you do the spell casting, you can go ahead and add Necromutation for convenience. You can totally do it without it. You just have to watch your, you're squishier relative, HP wise than something that's doing a ton of melee, and you don't have. If you don't have heal on kill, you can't, like, one of the nice things about TSO is you can hit Cleansing Flame, kill a bunch of trash. You have to remember that you get heal on kill even for really crappy, trashy demons and zombies in hell and other crap like that. So if you just kill stuff with Cleansing Flame, you're getting back HP. TSO's heal is not nearly as good as Mocklub's, but it definitely adds up. So you can just use that and get back a bunch of HP. And for spellcasters, they can kind of like start to ignore Torment if they do Necromutation. It is fine to do it. You just have to watch things with Dispel Undead, the Sits Middle, and a few other monsters like Black Suns, and of course, Glorx has it. But if you're Firestorming, you're going to be Firestorming him at range, and the Vortices will. So it's it's fairly safe to use that spell if you want to. Because if you're Firestorming, because you can block stuff that could try to dispel you. Dispel has short range. Sits are really fast, so they can kind of get in close, but you can still bog them down with Firestorms. And then you can also kind of basically ignore Torment, but you don't need to use that spell at all. You can just Firestorm stuff. Some people will even just use Statue Form, but that really sucks as a spellcaster. Okay, is this even the okay, it is. Yeah, I've not tried Dith in Extended. I mean any god is fine in Extended. He's just not he wouldn't be a top tier choice. Oh wait. Guess we're clearing the surrounding area first. Oh. Okay. Weirdly colored windows. And yeah, like the man said, Draconians. Boy, I don't know if I've actually ever seen this vault. I probably have. Maybe I just forgot about it because kind of sort of looks like a derpy vault. The vault full of derp. One of those vaults like, open the door. Kind of had that feeling, but it's just a bunch of Draconian monks, I think. Is that what these are? Yeah. exactly going to pose much of a threat. A cathedral, yeah, I guess it is. I'm not sure what to with the weird colored glass stuff, and it's just like filled with kind of unremarkable draconians. Not that there's necessarily innately a problem with that, but the death cob. Where's my 5-star, Sif? Not gonna get it from crappy draconians, that's for sure. Yeah, not seeing too much so far. All right, you have MR. Fair enough. It's like scarier monsters outside the vault. Well, it did have to, what is this? Oh, it's mock-up. Oh, Manual of Invoke. A little too late, sadly. Book of the Dragon, huh? Is this another thematic book? Fire and Brimstone. Get it? You get it? Fire and Brimstone Maclub? What's the third one? The Grimoire of the Zealot. Of course. There it is! The last monster in the vault. Epic. Now, can I even walk to the stairs? Go down and cast Shatter. Where shall I do this? Probably close to the stairs. Probably right here. It depends on the vaults. Most vaults don't have a no monster tag, so in most vaults, yes, even if they place monsters, there's a tag you can put that says don't generate level monsters in this vault. For instance, the Hall of Zot here has that tag, this vault, because it's, you know, it used to not actually. Only in 0.23 did I change it not to have that tag, because it carefully kind of controls the monsters, you know, that place in it. Yeah, but I want these. In my case, the downstairs that I took here are better for pathing purposes. Like, you know, for the orb run, this is like vastly superior. But yeah, that vault needs a little love. I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, Zot specific Makla Vault. There's just not. There's not real. I mean, I guess you could put. I would just sort of go all out. I like, Scorchers kind of make sense, I guess. But as far as Draconians go, other than them being like sort of vaguely chaotic, there's not a strong connection. There's already a number of fire-based Zot vaults too. You could go in for some like, nasty tier 1 demons sort of at the end. Well, I probably wouldn't just put one, because honestly just one is not that big of a deal. There would be a few. It needs to be notable. It's mostly just a very loose flavor vault without not much going on. Like even the layout isn't terribly interesting. Yeah, Zot is a branch meant to be dived, so there's definitely an argument for, well, if you're going to make a vault and you want players to experience it, it needs to be a vault that either forces all the downstairs or at least most. This one does at least put most of the downstairs, so it's got that going for it, but it's just not very challenging. That's the downside. You can end up there involuntarily, but saying my vault is relevant when a trap exploration effect triggers is not the best way to go about things. I think for a branch that is designed to be not cleared like Zot currently is, it's probably better to go with that. That said, I suppose you kind of do need a mix of different vault experiences, because if they're all 3 stair vaults or all these weird open things, it might get awkward. But I do kind of agree with that general idea that if you're going to put a Zot vault, because players are going to be tending to avoid it, you do want to think about that. Maybe I could put some stairs. Maybe I can make the vault open and connected in many ways so that monsters will feed out of the level, or that the level is likely to have a major pathway through it. I think it's a good thing to think about. Well, that's a different thing, Sally. You can control stair vaults and how frequent they are. And it's not the only thing you can do. Like I talked about open vaults. The frequency of stair vaults is an independent knob. You can just have a good selection of them. It's a similar thing with ghost vaults. Making more ghost vaults does not mean you get more ghosts. Yeah, you can control them with a tag, basically. I don't think they currently do that because there's just a lot of vaults that are not stair vaults in Zot. And that's because those vaults historically, Zot wasn't as much of a dive. It didn't force you as hard to dive as much as like it does now. You could probably still argue that it's also pretty free XP anyway, but then it is dangerous, but it's definitely the design intent was to make it more of a diving branch. So to that end, I think it's good to think in those terms. And yeah, you don't want to make vaults. I do agree you don't want to make vaults like annoying to the T, so that it's just an absolute chore to be in Zot at all, which to some people it already is. Manual of Invoke Hells. Yeah, I would throw in a few tier 1s, and it doesn't have to be a guaranteed Hell Sentinel, but it would be fine if it were. There's, even sits middle, fiends are still pretty scary. You get a cloud of executioners, say. That's still going to be scary. If you want demon, that's if you want to go the demon route, but this one was supposed to be like a connection with Draconians, so it's like, okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is wield Staff of Earth for extra spell power, not that it necessarily particularly matters. I'm going to eat. Well, it's not that demons don't work, I'm just commenting on the fact that they specifically put only Draconians in the vault. So, and then it's a Makla vault, so if I was going to revamp it, I might try to make something on that connection, but it's sort of just they kind of wanted to smack 2 things on it. Zot So they thought, okay, Draconians, and then Moklub. And they did put those two things in the vault, but they're not really... Yeah, Draconian. So they clearly really wanted it to be about Draconians, and they're like, oh, yeah, I guess it was really strongly that it was some kind of monastery. Maybe it, I don't know if it has different variants to it. Like, is it always Moklub? Or does it have, like, different gods? I wouldn't be shocked if it had different gods. That's another route you could go. Tiamat, certainly, yeah, that would be fun. There are some vaults that place uniques, either guaranteed or as a chance. You can do it as a chance, but you could guarantee it too. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you could do to revamp that one. Monks don't have gold, Schwer. They're poor. We have the gold. They live the monastic lifestyle. They can't have gold dragons because then they would have the rich gold dragon hide and they'd get corrupt. That the lore wouldn't be right, Schwer. The lore. You got to read the lore. Alright, memes aside, I guess it's time to shatter into this vault. I got brilliance too, hell, why not? I am that freaking crazy. Of course, I'm checking this. Yeah, just like that one Draconian castle, the Zot, you know, the Zot, containing the Zot entrance, that epic bug. Pretty classic, where instead of placing a water tile, they placed a glyph that made a monster, which was a Draconian. So the entire massive moat surrounding the vault, every single tile, instead of being water, was a Draconian. Definitely one of the classic. Oh yeah. Oh, that is one of the most infamous and famous vaults in all of Crawl. It's the epic. I'm sure it has LearnDB. That's the door vault. As you can tell, it has 5 entries because it's infamous. Yeah, it's a really good bug. Secret doors, yeah. So what did it look like? Rock on the outside? You could still tell it was there, I assume. Yeah, you really don't want to open that vault. Now we've added rune doors. By default, rune doors are clear. So vast majority of rune door vaults show you what's in the inside because we don't really like those spoilery vaults unless they're really unique. But door vault is like an institution, and there are still a few spoilery, opaque rune door vaults, and that's one of them. Look like a normal square wall. Yeah, I mean, I feel you could kind of tell because it's so perfectly square and big, but you know, I guess not. If you can't see how, without Magic Map, you wouldn't really. Alright, actually, literally now, casting Shatter now. Ladies and gentlemen, Divine Knowledge, 5 stars, casting Shatter. So actually, do I want to? I'm immediately going to be like hit with a bunch of monsters. Shatter, let's go. Okay. That's actually probably good that it didn't break the tile right in front of me, because... Don't you hit me? What are you doing? Moth of Wrath. Boy, he's one derpy Moth of Wrath. Sour, please. There he is. Well, I've got something for you, mister. 2 killer clowns. Well, why don't you, I guess, I'm gonna Firestorm First, set up the block Ring of Flames. Ring of Flippin' Flames channel. Look at that. They're multiplying. Boy, that would be a star-cursed clown. That would not be my favorite abyssal enemy, I can say that much. Okay, well, I guess it's an ancient Rich. Hi, Rich. 22 conj. Damn. 8% fail. Look at that. Oh, shit. Shard of ice. Ah, clever girl. He snuck in with his little invis spell. Dastardly Draconian. Name of my next vault. Those Dastardly Draconians. Oh wow, look who's clever. Real clever, buddy. Gonna be pretty liberal with the old Sif channel at this point. Don't super need the 5 stars. I mean, access to Borgs is kind of helpful. Cursed out. Rip Mikey. Died to a Cursed Toe. Yep, keep forgetting I have Val Clutch. Alright, there's 18 fighting. I think I'm not anywhere remotely close to running out of food, so... I mean, I could train some more Invo, it is super cheap. But at the same time, I don't really want to waste, well, what I'd rather have would be there it is, the Orb of Fur. Okay, yep, there's the Torment. Now we've got to be careful. I only have RF1. And, alright, he's down. What's our spell power with... Yes, it does, Jay. It does 45%. So that's why this Orb of Fire is dying. Not the best spell to use against them in terms of damage, but it is still quite safe to use against them. Blocks their Fireball, which is their scariest spell. They can still Bolt of Fire you through it. Yep, I could Glaciate if I had a Sif. If I had 5 stars. I did a good Glaciate in depths, actually. Set up this one. I got one of those Grunt spiral vaults, and in the center where there's just a billion monsters, I killed like an entire room with a good Glaciate. A lurker came out of chat just to say sick, and then never said anything after that. ahead and back up. Finish this guy off. Not quite. Yeah, there was that.